You've won a lot of kind of titles in your time. Just what does something like last night do for a team, especially kind of during the season?
Yeah, I think it was great for us. Obviously, I think going into this game, we played without any pressure, and we wanted to focus on seeing how we measure up against Minnesota, considering they're a top team in the league. And so for us, coming out with that win was pretty great.
You have won a lot, like he says, but never mid-season and then immediately going back to playing
Yep.
regular season games. I know you're smiling a little at it. Like, how does that feel today, knowing that you last night?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think the Commissioner's Cup is always a great opportunity to kind of just get that feeling for winning a title in the middle of the season. And so for us, that's really how we approach it. We enjoy it, but obviously we turn the page because we have Vegas coming up, and so we just have to be ready for that.
You traveled back last night, I presume. How did you flip that switch today? Back into regular season?
Yeah, I mean, once you go to sleep and you wake up, you know that Commissioner's Cup was fun. It was such a great experience, but you also know that you have another game that matters on your record, and so for us, it's being focused on them.
You feel like that kind of win, and of course the trophy that comes with it can be rallying for you guys in any way to try to get things.
I mean,
going
I think
on
it's
something?
great. Just being able to play against Minnesota, like I said, they are a fantastic team. They move the ball well, and be able to get that win and kind of see where we measure up, especially on the defensive end. And that's someplace that we really have been focusing on the past recent days in practice. And so for us to be able to hold them to a pretty good number of points and just making sure that we're executing at the same time was pretty great to see.
Sid also mentioned that defense. What did you feel like you guys were doing more effectively last night in some of your recent
Yeah,
wins?
I think just make sure we're pulled over, pulling over in the gap, not just giving teams easy reads on the floor. So that's really what we've been working on, and so it's pretty great to see us execute that a little bit better.
How did it feel in the second quarter, that one where they only had 7 total points? We're like, okay, this is what we can be on that end?
Yeah, in the moment, you don't really realize it until after the game and people are talking about it, but I think it's pretty special. Like when you hone in, obviously, like I said, they're a great team, and so for us being able to see that is pretty great for us.
Other than Vegas just being a good team over these last handful of years, I think it's been at least 10 times meetings since the Fever have beat them. Other than just them being good, can you put your finger on anything that maybe they do, or maybe how anxious this group is to get a win against maybe a barometer kind of team like them?
Yeah, I think for us, we always step into each game wanting that win and going to be able to go out there and compete for that win. And I think Vegas, obviously, they have just experienced winners in this league on that squad. And so for us, it's making sure that we stay engaged on both ends of the floor, make all their shots pretty difficult. But, I mean, they're just a great team, so we just have to be ready to play and know that they're going to go on runs and just be ready to go on our own.
For you personally, just the All-Star, what does that mean, that accomplishment, that recognition?
Yeah, it's super special. You don't take any moment being an All-Star for granted. So I'm super thankful for everyone that voted. I think it's just such a great opportunity, such a fun opportunity, and especially it being in Indy this year. I think it's going to be pretty awesome.
And you know the team captain, so
yep.
She has a little say in maybe where you end up.
That's what I'm saying.
Is a
She
gift
got.
basket showing
I mean,
up
I won't
somewhere?
even put a word in, but I just, we'll see what she does.
Can you take me through how, as a coach, you kind of try to rally your team from last night of this is exciting celebration champagne to, okay, we're still in the middle of the regular season game?
Yeah, I mean, I think we addressed that this morning, when we started watching film. It's like, that was great, that was awesome, that was a goal of ours, but now it's over. And it doesn't mean anything anymore. And now we got to continue to build off of the really good things that we did, continue to build consistency, continue to stack days, and we've got to refocus. We can't have a letdown after an exciting high.
You're the one delivering that message. How did you kind of relay it to yourself? That, like, you were very excited. You can see you on the floor very excited last night, but then you also have to get into coach mode as fast as
Yeah, by the time I got on the plane, I was over it, right? It's like you got to get ready for the next. It's sort of the nature of compartmentalization, right? It's yes, it was awesome, it was fun. I wanted to celebrate it for them. They earned it. Happy for them. And then we got to go into the next. It's not the end goal. Certainly, it was a goal, and it was a great accomplishment for our team. But we got to flip the page quickly.
What are you seeing, especially in that second quarter, defensively getting better as you guys kind of focus on the floor more?
First of all, our initial positioning was better. We were where we needed to be, which allowed our point of attack defense to be better. We were disruptive. We didn't allow them to just move the ball like they want to move the ball. We made passes difficult. When you do that, it disrupts timing too, and that was one of our goals. We made them take tough shots. We secured the defensive board. Thought our activity level was really good. I thought our communication was elite. Our execution was probably as good for 3 quarters as it's been all year. That's got to travel. That's got to be the standard for us.
We see Kaylin down there. Is there anything new about her status or day to day? Is she gonna be able to play tomorrow?
No, she's gonna be out tomorrow.
Is there any way is there any updated timeline in your head of when she could return this weekend, sooner after that?
I don't have anything in my head other than what I'm told. You know, my goal has always been the same. Like, I don't want this to be something that lingers, that we come back too soon. We want to make sure that she is 100% ready to go and that we put her long-term health and wellness as at the forefront.
So nothing about it being a game time decision these last couple games and being able to rule her out today. Is there any extra kind of concern about just, you know, that little change in?
I don't know if there's extra concern as more of like, hey, let's just maintain perspective. She wants to play, and she's working to play, and she has been working to play. And I think after, you know, a few days, it's like, okay, we've got a little bit of time. You know, thinking 5 games before All-Star break, we've got a little bit of time. So let's just ease her mind, even though she's antsy, and let's do this the right way and make sure that we're ready to go and 100% when she comes back.
It's been different rosters, different coaching staffs in this series between Vegas and the Fever, but it's been at least 10 since Indiana has beat them, other than just being a good team. As a coach, or from your experience, can you put your finger on, you know, how that can be kind of a lopsided results in a series, and, you know, if there's any added motivation, I guess, to
yeah, I didn't even know that. So no, I mean, they're the next opponent right there. So they're the most important game. You know, we let one slip away at their place, and we know that we have to be better. We've watched some of that game today so that we can make sure that we address some slippage and some issues that we had. I think we're a better defensive team today than we were the last time that we played them, even though it wasn't very long ago. You know, I think we've gotten, you know, Sophie's back to moving the way that she's capable of moving. Certainly, we adding Ari was huge for us, and so no, we know what we have to do. We've just got to be able to execute it and do it consistently.
Was there any moment watching your players celebrate last night that made you particularly smile, or that will stick with you for a long time?
I think just the end, just watching, you know, as the buzzer sounded, their joy. You know, this is a group that really pulls for each other. They really rally for each other. They're selfless. They're good human beings. They've been working really hard. There's been a lot of adversity thrown their way early, and to see that connectedness and to see that joy and that happiness and the pride that they had in one another and accomplishing that is certainly something that sticks out in my mind.